Forming a romantic relationship seems effortless for some people, but for others it can be incredibly challenging. Why is that? What really happens during the stage of building a committed relationship? What skills should we explore and develop to create a healthier bond? And how all of these things connect to our unconscious beliefs about love, closeness, and trust. Today we're going to explore the second developmental stage of the family, forming a romantic partnership. This stage comes with many growth tasks and responsibilities. Partners need to define their roles within the relationship, establish attachment, create a unique identity as a couple, and set clear boundaries both inside and outside the relationship. Each of these tasks plays a crucial role in building a healthy and lasting partnership. Choosing a partner is not entirely random. In fact, it is often an implicit choice made by our unconscious mind and our body, rather than a purely rational decision. We tend to select partners in ways that recreate emotional patterns we experienced in early childhood, particularly in three foundational relationships: with our mother, with our father, and in our perception of the relationship between them. The earliest forms of intimacy and connection are experienced in these primary relationships, and they leave deep imprints on our inner emotional world. Later in life, we naturally seek to replicate these experiences in adult relationships, especially in romantic ones. In romantic relationships, we often desire or even unconsciously demand the fulfillment of needs that were not met in early childhood. These needs might include attention, reassurance, closeness, or emotional support. Being aware of this tendency allows us to communicate more openly and clearly with our partners, and it also enables us to regulate our own fears and needs independently, also outside the relationship, while maintaining more realistic expectations of our partner. Courage and vulnerability are essential components of a healthy romantic relationship. Sharing your true self allows the relationship to deepen, but it also carries risks. Opening up can feel frightening, as it exposes you to potential misunderstanding, rejection, and even shame. For someone with a history of unmet needs and low self-esteem, vulnerability can feel especially threatening. Yet, revealing our authentic selves is necessary for genuine intimacy and trust to develop. By taking the risk, we create opportunities for both personal growth and deeper connection with our partner. Attachment is one of the most important tasks in a romantic relationship. For people with secure attachment styles, forming and maintaining attachment is relatively straightforward. For those with anxious and avoidant attachment styles, it can be far more challenging and complex. Early attachment patterns are shaped primarily by how responsive our primary caregivers were to our needs in the first months or years of our life. If a caregiver was inconsistent, unresponsive, or unavailable, this may lead to anxious or avoidant attachment patterns that require intentional work to overcome, such as therapy, journaling, self-reflection, and inner child work. Another key challenge in this phase is balancing intimacy and individuality, also called differentiation. A healthy relationship allows both partners to acknowledge their own emotional needs while recognizing how the other can meet those needs. Both partners must be able to communicate their needs clearly. Boundaries in the relationship also give space for each person to maintain individuality, pursue personal interests, and seek fulfillment outside the relationship. Without these boundaries, couples can become overly enmeshed, sharing everything and losing a sense of self. Enmeshment often stems from attempting to meet unmet childhood needs through the relationship, relying on the partner to provide a sense of security, belonging, and validation. Communication is critical to relationship success. It must provide both partners with a sense of acknowledgement and validation. Validation happens when messages are conveyed and interpreted in a way that allows each person to feel loved, respected, cared for, and valued. When someone doubts that their partner values or cares about them, the amygdala often interprets this as a threat to safety and belonging. This can trigger panic and very often fight, flight, or freeze responses, which makes rational, calm communication nearly impossible and increases the risk of long, unproductive, toxic arguments. On the other hand, if a person is confident that their partner values, loves, and respects them, conflicts are much easier to navigate and resolve. Ironically, our perception of how much we are valued in a relationship often reflects experiences with our early caregivers much more than our current partner. Trauma or unmet needs from childhood can make the amygdala hyperreactive even to neutral situations, making emotional regulation much more difficult. In such cases, healing requires awareness, self-reflection, therapy, meditation, and spiritual practices like prayer. Some early experiences cannot be undone, and sometimes the healthiest approach is to consciously acknowledge the loss, process grief, and integrate these lessons into adult relationships. Ultimately, this stage of development is about growth, self-awareness, and partnership. It requires patience, courage, and willingness to explore both our vulnerability and our strengths. By understanding our attachment patterns, communicating openly, setting healthy boundaries, and embracing both intimacy and individuality, we lay the foundation for relationships that are not only loving, but also resilient and supportive. This awareness allows us to build connections that are fulfilling, safe, and capable of weathering the inevitable challenges that come with sharing our lives with another person. Today we talked about forming a romantic partnership and why attachment matters. Attachment is a very, very broad topic that I will explain in my next video, so please do subscribe. Remember, being open, vulnerable, and aware of our patterns will help you build strong, healthy relationships. And every relationship is a chance to grow and to connect deeply with yourself and your partner.